Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about a headline here. This is June 2nd, 2024. This one's May 31st, 2024, but a solar project is going to destroy thousands of Joshua trees in the Mojave Desert. So that's the LA Times. This is Fox News here. Yahoo running a LA Times article. So the residents in this little town, the Aritina solar project, will be installed on 2,300 acres of land in the Mojave Desert and involve the destruction of over 3,500 Joshua trees. So, Joshua Tree National Park. That this isn't inside the park, but these are protected trees. So, but this solar project will generate electricity for about 180,000 homes in coastal neighborhoods instead of the impacted communities. So, this is happening on 2,300 acres near Boron, Boron, in Desert Lake, two towns in Kern County. And so the residents of the poverty-stricken towns are angered by the project, not just because of the construction dust, but also because the land where the solar facility will be located is home to endangered tortoises, which in these articles, they say the company's going to have to relocate. And they say that, surprise, surprise, in America of we the people, it says that the residents' concerns repeatedly were ignored by county officials who unanimously approved the project. So everybody was in agreement with it. And somewhere in these articles, the company says, well, we like doing business here. Well, I guess you probably would when everybody that has to approve you does it unanimously. So, yeah, unanimously. But right here, Derek English, a teacher at Boron Junior High School, said that it's hard to comprehend. His quote is, "Let's destroy the environment to save the environment." That seems to be the mentality. So these residents seem to be clear out of options. This project is going in. And all these articles state that they expect it to start construction on Monday, and this is June 2nd and May 31st. So June 2nd is a Sunday here. May 31st was a Friday, so that would leave the Monday, June 3rd. And they said that, they weren't necessarily going to start on the 3rd, but they're, getting ready to just really, hammer into this whenever it's just really feasible. So there's a lot of prepped actions in the way here. But they say that in 2023, California lawmakers approved the Western Joshua Tree Conservation Act, banning the killing of trees without a permit. The Aritina project, though, was approved by state officials before the Western Joshua Tree Conservation Act was approved, as well as before the state made the Joshua tree a candidate for protection under the state's Endangered Species Act. So, politicians, public servants, not acting until it's too late. You have to act before projects like this come in, and they'll be like, well, we tried. Well, it was going through, so we did some ceremonial things that amounted to not much of anything because this project's going through. And the residents are really not too happy about it. Yeah, it's gonna generate electricity for homes in wealthier coastal neighborhoods. And they say that Boron and the nearby Desert Lake are towns where the poverty rate is twice the California average. And the residents say their concerns about construction dust, as well as the destruction of the mostly pristine land that is habitat for endangered tortoises, have been ignored by county and state officials who approved it. So, of course they do. These things just get rubber stabbed. I don't know if I've ever seen something like this or something big that big corporations brought to federal people that got denied. off the top of my head, I don't know of any. But, so this guy, this teacher here, Derek English, he was part of a group that found fungus that causes valley fever in soil samples from the 5 parcels surrounding the 2 towns where the solar panels are going to be built. And he asked how the kids going to be able to go outside and play. Well, Melanie Richardson asked that, who's a nurse at her son's school. And she said, so many of our community were begging them not to approve the product, and they passed it regardless. Right. We the people. Okay. That certainly isn't the case anymore. So, but it says, although solar and wind fields are expected to help mitigate the climate crisis, they're also tearing up undeveloped land, harming threatened plants and wildlife, and causing concern in nearby communities, which are small and far from the state's, cities. And they said that rural communities just don't have political power, and they just get ramrodded over. So, yeah, it says that the crews have been scheduled to start clearing the site on Monday, but it doesn't mean all 3,500 trees are going to come down on Monday. So they said the company decided to take the extra step of shredding the trees on site rather than leaving them in piles or hauling them away whole, the person said, to reduce the visibility of the tree clearing. So, yeah, they don't want people to be reminded of it. Just let's have it go on here where not many people see it, and we'll just, get rid of the evidence. So, the executives would not confirm the June 3rd date, but said that contractors had begun site preparations this month and will soon begin selectively clearing the area of vegetation and other large natural obstacles approved for removal by the county and state wildlife officials. And they say that the company said that the massive solar and battery project will have environmental benefits that outweigh the destruction of the Joshua trees. They said vastly more Joshua trees are being threatened by climate change caused by rising greenhouse gas emissions, which the Aritina solar project directly addresses. So I don't really know if they have proof of that, but it says that Advantis, the company, takes care on all projects to minimize any unnecessary impacts such as noise, dust, and traffic throughout all phases of the project. And it added that it was committed to being a good neighbor. So, a resident said that it was likely, the decision had already made because, it was unanimously approved in 2021, despite comments and letters from dozens of citizens. So, people don't have a say, and it'd be interesting to see if anything happens in the coffers of these people that approve all these projects. So, that would be interesting if these people started getting audited all across the country, probably across the world, But the company says that The benefits of the project include $3 million in sales tax and $73 million in property tax. Now they don't say yearly, they don't say over a decade. I'm not sure how far, how long it will take for this 76 million to come in this poor rural towns. But the company said, yeah, we like doing business here. Okay. So, in 2019 in San Bernardino, they voted to ban the construction of large solar and wind farms on more than 1 million acres of private land. And this is only 2,300. I think I said we read it off of here. But, this seems to be going through, and right here, the county said, said that the company who wants to be a good neighbor and do business there had put $1.4 million into a fund that would be used to protect Joshua trees in other areas of the state. Okay, now that we have our project, it's hands off for you guys. So it's just kind of funny how this all works. So this right now is going on. Joshua trees, they grow just 1 to 3 inches a year, which means a 16-foot tree could be more than 100 years old, and more than 500 of the trees that were part of the 4,700 found on the site during a survey were at least 16 feet tall. So they've been around for a while, 100 years, 500 of them. And chances are they're just gonna meet their expiration date. So an environmental watch group, Basin and Range Watch, Kevin Emmerich said he's not aware of other projects where this many trees will be removed. And it says that the company's plan now included destroying about 3,500 Joshua trees. And it talks about the legislation passed last year, but sorry guys, we were just too late. We approved it after the signatures of this had already been signed. They couldn't have included in the legislation, this is retroactive back to any projects maybe that have been signed but haven't been started yet. They couldn't have put that in there. I don't know. I've never drafted legislation before, but that doesn't seem so far-fetched. So right now, out there in these little towns in California, these protected Joshua trees are going by the wayside for solar power. So, saving the environment, destroying the environment to save the environment, people. That's what the locals think. Stay tuned.